The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Thursday episode of Running Point on YSNLive.com. Brought to you, as always, by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. I'm going to go ahead and put them up in that top right corner of the screen so you know where to go if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle. Go to the right side of the screen to see the logo. Go to Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown if you're in the market for a new used vehicle. They go the extra mile for you. They are the presenting sponsor of this show, and we thank them every single day for all they do for YSN, and especially Running Point being the presenting sponsor of us. So if you ever compliment the show, make sure you compliment Greenwood Chevrolet too, because we couldn't do it without them. Got a good one for you today. We're going to have a jam-packed show. I'm going to continue to go the extra mile like Greenwood with player profiles on today's show. I'm going to talk to, we're going to hear from Austintown Fitch's Kylie Folkwine. Ty Bartel did a great interview with her from Austintown Fitch. Their volleyball team in their last home game of the year tonight. Win or lose, tournament will move on to districts next week. So Fitch will play their last home game against Brush. They are the heavy favorites. So all signs point to a Fitch win, but in D1, you can't take anyone lightly. So, of course, we're wishing Fitch the best of luck, and you'll hear from Kylie Folkwine a little bit later on in the show and Ty Bartel. But we also have one that we're going to play from Middle Ridge. Samantha Aulette, the reigning YSN setter of the year, has well over 2,000 assists in her career. And Middle Ridge finally has an opponent. They had to wait for a minute, but South Range beat United last night. So Middle Ridge versus South Range on Saturday, as the Rams will get their tournament run going in the sectional finals at Columbiana on Saturday. You'll be able to hear from Samantha Aulette a little bit later on in the show as well. But before we get to all that fun stuff with the player profiles, first, we have to recap the action that happened last night. And we have to dive into the YSN scoreboard on YSNLive.com, which is always brought to you by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. Let me bring that up for you there. And Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs brings you this awesome tool for the YSN fans, whether you're maybe at a game in person or you're watching one of our broadcasts. Either way, you don't want to look down at your screen for too long. YSN Scoreboard is a fast and easy way to get live updated scores every night. You don't have to wait for 11 or 12 o'clock till the finals come in. Most of these are live updated ASAP. So the YSN Scoreboard, brought to you and presented by Burnett Pool, Spas, and Hot Tubs. You can find it at ysnlive.com/scores. Let's go over to Wednesday's scoreboard. As we always do, we will start with the first three rows and then scoot on over to the last column. Hoban took care, and I mean took care, of Cleveland Rhodes 3-0. They gave up a total of, I think, maybe 5 or 6 points in 3 sets. It was kind of ridiculous on the set scores. That's some of these sectionals can be really big mismatches, and Hoban was one with the sweep in Akron last night for their sectional semifinal. Crestwood, they were able to beat Salem in straight sets. Ashtabula St. John got the win in straight sets over East Canton. We saw Struthers get the win over East. They move on 3-0. Struthers will now go on to play Jefferson, who also got the win last night. South Range, they were able to beat United in a big matchup. I thought that one was going to be pretty interesting, and it was. South Range won their 3 sets they won were pretty handed, but United showed some fight in the second set, won at 25-21. So congratulations to the Eagles for a fantastic season, and congratulations to the Raiders for moving on. Now, we talked about Hoban being a big mismatch in a sweep. This next game was a sweep, but wasn't a huge mismatch. You saw the set scores all very close. The second set was the closest, 28-26. Mooney definitely pushed Columbiana, but the Clippers found a way to win all 3 sets and get out of that one with a sweep. So they win there. Lisbon upsets Springfield. This was a 19 seed beating a 15 seed, and they did it 3-1 in a 4-set matchup against the Tigers. Congratulations to the Beavers there. We have Beaver Local beating Martins Ferry 3-0, the final score there. Girard got the win over Niles 3-0. We have East Liverpool. They were easily able to beat Zanesville. They only gave up a total of 4 points in 3 sets. It's another big mismatch there for the Potters as they creep into the district semifinals. That was a sectional final. That bracket, that district with East Liverpool, Beaver Local, and Edison is a little bit ahead of the rest of us. So even though everyone else is finishing up their sectional semifinals and going into sectional finals tonight, last night Beaver Local, East Liverpool, and those two both punched tickets into the district semifinals. East Liverpool will be in Edison, and I believe Beaver Local will play in Steubenville. Big matchup for Beaver Local next. They will play Indian Creek, and that's a team they have split with. So, it's not just a trip to district championship on the line. It's also season series on the line between Beaver Local and Indian Creek. That's going to be a 5 versus 4 matchup on Tuesday. And as we said, last but not least, in this row, in these 3 columns, East Liverpool gets the comeback victory over Bristol, and they win in 5 sets to move on. A big win for the East Palestine Bulldogs. Great job by them to force 5 and then win that 5th set, go the distance, and beat the Panthers and move on into the next round of the tournament. We'll go into girls soccer. Cardinal Mooney beats Warren JFK 3-1, a big upset for the Cardinals. Warren JFK obviously came into this one feeling really good, but they said it. I mean, we previewed this matchup with Andrea Ryan. CJ Baco did a really good job interviewing her this weekend, and he kind of had her preview the Mooney game, and she said Mooney's tough. They're fast, they're athletic, they make a lot of plays, and Mooney got the win. So the Battle of the Birds goes to Cardinal Mooney as they win 3-1 over Warren JFK. Pymatuning Valley, they fall to Badger 2-1, the final score there. Canfield, another blowout. They win easily 10-0, the final score. Poland matches up with Bristol and gets the big win 8-0. Columbiana falls to Champion 7-0. That Champion Golden Flashes team continues to raise that goal margin. They have a monster margin of victory this year. They have been blowing out most of the teams they play, and they continue to do that against Columbiana. Berkshire beats Conneaut 8-0. Berkshire is a very good team. They're one of the only teams this season that has taken Columbiana to a close game. I believe Columbiana won that one by 1 goal. So Berkshire, definitely a good team outside of the YSN family. They show it, and they beat Conneaut by 8 goals. We saw Hoban. They beat CVCA by a final score of 3-0. The Knights moving on. West Branch gets the West Branch gets the win over Geneva 8-1. The final score there. Lakeview beats Grand Valley 6-2 at the final. We have Orange getting the win over Elyria Catholic. Big win for the Lions, 4-2. Orange gets the dub, and they move on in the bracket. And then last but not least, of course, in this first 3 rows, It is Springfield blanking Waterloo and getting the win over their MVAC rivals 5-0. I think every time Springfield beats Waterloo, it probably feels a little bit better since Waterloo kind of knocked them out of the conference run last year and ended their long MVAC championship streak. So I think there might be still some anger left over for the Tigers, even though that's a very different Waterloo team, of course, without Karen English on the field. We also had boys playoff soccer. East Liverpool falls to Steubenville by a final score of 2-1. Let's scroll over to the last column over here and tell you that Perry beat Niles in a very good soccer matchup. Perry is good. Niles put up a heck of a fight, but in the end, it was just a little bit too much. Perry gets to win 2-1. Crestview gets a game-winning goal from Kerrigan Miller, and they have a 2-1 win over United, and that backs up the regular season win they had over the Eagles as well. So Crestview goes on the road, gets the upset, and unfortunately for Hubbard, they also got upset at home against the Lions. The Aviators win 6-1 over the Eagles there in that sectional final. And let's scroll up and get these games here. Hubbard beats Ravenna 3-0 in the final score there. Kirtland will get the win over Champion. These were close sets. I think they were all at least 25-19, but Kirtland pulls away and gets the sweep 3-0. And then Lakeview has no trouble with Pymatuning Valley. They get the win in straight sets. Then I'm going to go look. I think I'm going to get Jefferson's score from the from the OHSA bracket real quick. And it's going to be Jefferson did get the win over. No, they have the bye. I'm sorry. That's what I'm thinking. Struthers will play Jefferson. I didn't see Jefferson on the scoreboard. I was like, I know they're playing next. They got the bye. That's why I was mixed up. So those are your scores from Wednesday on the YSN scoreboard. There you go. Sectional finals are all set now. The teams that won last night will play on Saturday, and we will go from there. Let's go and take a commercial break. When we come back, we have player profiles to get to. We have two of them. We have Kylie Folkwine and Samantha Allett. We'll be right back on YSN Live. It's Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the four words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local, independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
The feeling when my hands are on the piano, it's become comforting. It's somewhere that I can express myself. I go to Youngstown State University and my passion is playing music. YSU is allowing me to take what I love and turn it into a career and do it every single day of my life. I'm Alyssa and I'm YN proud.
My guy keeps it 100% of the time. He wants all 100, won't settle for 99. And it's more than stats because there's people in those numbers. And I was one of the lost sheep. I'm so glad he cares for all 100. I'm 100% safe, 100% free, 100% love. I can be 100% me. He gave all 100 when they put him up on that tree. That's 100% passion for 100% free. So if I play in front of 100, or if I play in front of 2, there's an audience of 1 getting 100% of what I can do.
Now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas. It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience, and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
What can you do on over 5,000 acres? At Mill Creek Metro Parks, you can discover unique habitats and wildlife, create memorable family moments, experience history, heritage, and park programs, explore scenic landscapes, take time to relax and be well, connect with nature and each other. Come see what's new at Mill Creek Metro Parks. Plan your trip now at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means taking care of our local customers.
And it's just a great feeling to put them in a vehicle and get them all excited about a new vehicle.
At the end of the day, our goal is to be someone our customers can count on.
And every day I'll go the extra mile for the community so they can trust us.
To do anything that would convenience the customer or make them feel more at home.
Realizing, number one, that we're here for them and that we're not going to go away.
That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com. Brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig with you. We want to thank you for tuning in, and we want to thank Greenwood Chevrolet for their constant support of this show. I want to talk to you a little bit more about Greenwood Chevrolet real quick as we continue this Thursday episode of Running Point. Greenwood Chevrolet is one of the only places where you can shop online as easily as you can go to the store. And with all the guilty pleasures of shopping during the lunch break, which maybe you're watching Running Point on your lunch break, maybe you can hop on over to the online inventory of Greenwood Chevrolet. One of the big vehicles on their online inventory right now is the 2020 Chevy Equinox. You can not only buy the vehicle online, but you can also set up a test drive. You can visit greenwoodchevrolet.com and check out their online inventory anytime you want. But, lunch break is a prime time for online shopping, right? So crazy to think that is also leaked into car shopping too. The world we live in, right? The world we live in. Greenwood Chevrolet continuing to go the extra mile for you. And we have a guest today live on the show, just popping in. We're going to get her taken care of because it is an exciting time down there in Lakeview. Reagan Price joins us from Lakeview. Reagan, it is so cool to finally get you on Running Point. I know you told me earlier this season this is a bucket list moment for you. So congratulations. You got a player profile.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. I want to talk to you about this season because it's kind of been your time to shine a little bit. Last year, you and Tara Lytle were definitely the 1-2 punch in the middle, and now it's kind of your turn to be that head of the 1-2 punch. What's that been like for you, especially coming into the season, knowing that you were going to be asked a lot more and you're going to be, put a lot more responsibilities on your shoulders?
It's definitely been different. As you said, Tara, I miss Tara very much. She was a very strong player. I loved having her as my other middle. This year we had Allie step up with me, so that was really nice. But I've definitely loved the opportunity to get some more swings, more reps, and really get that connection with Mallory more.
One of the things that really impresses me about this Lakeview team is they never missed a beat. Like the Lakeview culture didn't go anywhere. You lost so many seniors last year, not just Tara, just Maggie and Maddie Bayes and Brooke and Emma, just the core of the Lakeview team that was there for 4 years. What were some of the things that you think were key to not just rebuilding this program, but just reloading it and being just as dominant as you were a year ago?
I think it was very important for us to not overthink it. We knew we lost a lot of strong seniors, but we had all played together, especially my class in middle school, and we were strong then. We went undefeated, so we knew we could do good. We knew we were strong. We knew we'd be competitive, and we knew we had to just go out and be scrappy. So I think we really accomplished that, and we showed everyone that although we were considered the underdog coming into the season, that we still can play really good volleyball.
Underdog has its day because you guys went and won the NE8. You got the 2 wins over Girard. The second one was definitely harder than the first. But what did it feel like in that moment when you beat Girard, you get the NE8 championship, and all that hard work and all that chip on your shoulder and all that underdog mentality that you had in the beginning of the season just went away and you were the champions again?
It felt absolutely amazing, especially after last year. We split with them, tied for the NE8. So this year we really wanted to show them, like, hey, we're going to take this. And we ended up winning the title. That last game against them in the 5th set, knowing we were in there, we were down 12-6. For us to come back and fight like that was amazing.
This team has also kind of proved that there are different ways to win a volleyball game, because last year you were the powerful offense. You had so many great swingers. And this year you still have great offense, but now it's like defense is just ruling this team where you're getting every ball up. You're frustrating teams out the gym because they can't put balls away. What have you seen from this team to transition to a new way of success this year?
Absolutely. So this year we're definitely more defensively minded, as you said. We still have a strong offense, but we're definitely we're very scrappy. So every ball, there's always a hustle play. That's our favorite. But I would say our goal is to make other teams frustrated. So make them make mistakes, get those up, get those touches, and as many as we can do. So.
One of the things I also want to ask, we talked about that Girard game, and the second time around, they were playing a really good defense on you, and we saw other hitters kind of step up and take their time to shine. What has it been like for you as a leader of this team, someone that had been in the varsity world a lot last year, kind of see some players that are taking bigger steps, step up big in that big game?
It's really awesome to see. As you said, other people had to definitely step up. We weren't as experienced. A lot of people this year didn't have as much varsity time or anything like that. But for everyone to come in, a bunch of juniors, even some sophomores getting playing time, everyone stepping up and really focusing on playing their part and not doing too much has been really great. So Girard, I know going into that game, I had a triple block on me. And for Molly to be able to, get some amazing kills on the outside and my defense step up and really help me cover those blocks and my setter get me around the block was amazing.
Not too many players get triple blocked. You have so much attention on you that teams are triple blocking you. Does that give you a little added confidence, a little added energy?
Definitely motivates me. That kind of the pressure of it all to be able to hit around it, go through it, figure out how to go around the obstacles. So.
Let's talk about Coach Guthrie. Obviously, she's a big reason why this Lakeview team didn't miss a beat in her culture that she's instilled. What have you seen from her? Do you think her coaching has risen to a different level this year? Is it the same Heather Guthrie, or does he coach a little bit different with you guys this year?
I think going into the season, we knew it was going to be different, but she's still very consistent. She's an amazing coach. I absolutely love her. She motivates us. She pushes us every single practice we go in, knowing that we're going to have to work hard and maintain the Lakeview standard of volleyball.
What is one skill or part of the game that you think you have been able to improve the most because of being coached by Coach Guthrie?
I think my speed of the game. Going into my freshman year, I don't think I was as coordinated or up to speed with the pace, and her really throwing me in there against players like Tara and everything and learning how to get my footwork and my arm swing faster was really beneficial.
All right, let's talk about this Lakeview tournament that you're about to get into. I know this team is really hungry for a district championship. It's been right in your reach the last couple of years and then slipped away. This is a tough district that you find yourselves in, like every year. What are some of the talks this week? Because you had a long time to go before your first tournament game last night. So you had a lot of time off. What were some things that went on this week and some things you did to prepare for this tournament run?
So our practices, we've been focusing on really mentally preparing. We know we can physically outbeat anyone when we put our mind to it. Sometimes we go in and we overthink it, or we show up and think that we might not be as ready, but we know we can do it. So Coach Guthrie really made sure everyone was mentally prepared, physically prepared, and we went into our first tournament game yesterday against Pymatuning Valley, and everyone played really strong. So we're looking forward to Brookfield Saturday.
All right, now everyone, tries to take tournament games one step at a time, one team at a time. But that's got to be hard when you know the whole bracket, you know what teams are in it. Do you guys ever struggle with the one game at a time mentality during tournament time?
So we tend to look ahead sometimes, but we know that we need to stay really focused on one game, like you said. I think that is very important. Our coach really applies that to her coaching style at the end of every practice. That's the talk we get, like don't overthink it, don't go in over your head. Focus one game, one play, all at a time. It's the 6 people on the court, so don't worry about any other aspects. And then go into the next game with that momentum that you carry on.
There are no seniors on this team. What is it like to have this much success and this much chemistry, knowing that everyone's coming back next year too?
I think it's really exciting that we get to do this again next year and hopefully build and hopefully go further. It's been really great, honestly. It's weird. It's definitely weird having no seniors because we had a lot last year. But I think it's nice, and we really get to build those bonds and be stronger players that were together so long like that.
I think, to be fair, you're the certified senior on the team because you probably have the most varsity experience. What's it been like to just be asked to be such a leader and almost double as a quote unquote senior, even though you're not yet?
Yeah. It was really great opportunity to be able to start varsity my freshman year and continue that throughout the years. I really honestly have to thank all the teammates that I've been with the previous years, my Maggie, my Tara, Brooke, Emma, Maddie, all of them. Even my coach especially, because putting me in there and throwing me in as a freshman, it might have been a little risky, but it was really great. And then to be able to be a role model now for the people who are getting to play varsity and everything, it's been really nice. So I like having the role of that.
All right, let's talk about the seniors of last year too. You brought them up again. How much do you see the footprints of what they were able to do and how they taught people how to lead? Like, do you still feel their presence this year, even though they graduated?
I think it definitely shows off still from our intensity at practice. We usually do a varsity and JV scrimmage, and we just play against them. So you really see like the ripple effect of all the grades against each other. We wouldn't be able to perform how we do in games without playing each other. So the competitiveness from playing against like Tara in the middle for me last year really helps me bring it and do it with Allie and everything like that. So
we know that you also play with some really good players in the offseason in club volleyball, JO. What's that do for you as a player to be able to expose yourself to such amazing talent, whether it be on your team or on the teams that you play against?
A real turning point for me was when I did go to Infinity last year. The club's amazing. The coaches are amazing, and I absolutely loved all my teammates. So personally for me, I think I was able to improve a lot as a middle. I have some really big blocks on my team. So going against Abby Emsch, Brie Littell, Kai White, Grace Auer, Faye Schneider, all of them, everyone on my team, it was really competitive for me, and it was a whole new level of play. So it really helped me a lot.
Everyone that you just mentioned has a good chance to go and win in districts. What's it mean to you to look around and see all your teammates with just such so much success this year?
It's really nice. I'm happy for all of them. They're having great seasons, and I'm really proud of all the accomplishments they had. So I don't think I know like East Liverpool, I'm not anywhere near them, but Crestview is in our division. They're on our side of the bracket, all of them. So cheering them on until we get near them.
Right. Happy for them until they're across the net. It's
yeah.
Like, no. I'm going to put you on the spot. I have to ask this every time that we have someone that plays such great club, sports, whatever sport it is. Who's your best friend that doesn't wear that Lakeview uniform? Who you gonna say?
Oh, I don't think I can pick one. Oh, that's so difficult. I would say that I have always been closer with Faith and Bree. I've known them longer, but really getting to know, for me, when we played Crestview before my freshman year, I didn't know Abby, and I was like, wow, like she's really good. She's so tall, like all this, and then really getting to know the person she is at club. Like she is the sweetest person you will ever meet. She is so nice. So I do always like traveling over to Crestview or Girard or Mineral Ridge.
A true leader. The political answer. I love it. I love it. Reagan, we want to get to know you a little bit off the floor too. What kind of things do you think you're interested in? You know, when you think about, next year, you're going to have to start thinking about careers and majors, and what kind of things, spark your interest about things you want to do in the future?
So I would like to follow through with athletics. I've always been interested in like a physical therapy or athletic training aspect. So I'd like to do that.
Do we see college volleyball in your future? Are we talking that?
We do.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to playing in college. So
when you think about like programs you're looking at and things that you want to look for and things that'll make that decision easy, what kind of things do you look for?
I don't want to be too far from home. Let's see. I want a really competitive program. I like intensity. I want to win some games. So
yeah. Winning's fun.
It is.
You got to promise that when you make that decision, you come on YSN and announce it live on the show. All right.
All right.
Let's do it. Reagan, your family is so supportive of you. Every time we go to Lakeview, they were asking, when's Reagan going to get interviewed? When's she going to get on YSN? Let's talk about your family. Let's give them a shout out. What makes your family unique in your eyes, and what kind of things are so special about your family to you?
My family's amazing. They come to every game, whether it's my parents, my grandparents, my younger brother will show up sometimes to support. But, no matter where it is, they've already talked about college. They said it doesn't matter how far you go, whatever you want to do, they'll be there. So it's really nice to know that I have that support system behind me wherever I want to go.
Awesome, Reagan. We love hearing it. We love when family tries to get people on the show. Like, hey, let's push them. I love it. I love it. Reagan, before we let you go, though, I know there's other people in your support system, other people that have your back. I want to give you the time to shout out anyone else or give double shout outs. I don't care. Whatever you think you want to do in this time. It's all you. It's all giving the light to people in your life. So give your shout outs before we let you go.
I just like to reiterate my coaches and my friends and family, really. Even from my coaches from 7th and 8th grade to Heather Guthrie now, it's been really great. They've always motivated and they always want what's best for you, no matter who you are. My friends, I've loved playing with them. They were really what got me started on volleyball. I was a big soccer player. I was never interested in it. And then they all joined in 7th grade. And I was like, oh, that looks fun. So I would never be where I am without them. So I'm very grateful for that.
Reagan Price from Lakeview, we thank you so much for joining us today. We wish you the best of luck in this tournament run, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. We'll see you soon. Good luck.
Bye.
That was Reagan Price from Lakeview, and not a senior, but kind of feels like it because she's been on that floor, varsity floor, since freshman season. So, like I said, the de facto senior on a senior list team, definitely a captain, definitely a great leader, definitely a role model for a lot of young players. I'm looking at the development that I see from players like Addie Allen on that team, and I'm like, I bet Reagan Price has a lot to do with that. Even the development of Mallory Mylock, who I think honestly should give a lot of credit to Maggie Pavlansky and the work that she did with her for the 3 years that they were with each other, 2 years. Because you saw Mallory on the floor last year in that 6-2 that they would run, and was really good when she stepped on, but now stepping into a 5-1 and just being confident as a setter. I love the development of this team. I think the seniors from last year have a lot to do with it. I think the work ethic that they put into this team have a lot to do with it. I think the coaching staff and the consistency that the coaches have in their, in their ability to stay in the school. You can't build a program unless you stay there. That's obvious, right? It should be obvious, but some programs think they should be great when they're switching out coaches every 2 years. It doesn't work like that. I don't care what level you're on. Like if you're an NFL team and you're switching out coaches every season, you're not going to be successful. It trickles down. That's the same thing in high school sports. If you have the coach that it's a revolving door, you're not going to build a successful program. You're just not. So Heather Guthrie has been at Lakeview for definitely long enough to build a program and definitely long enough to build a culture. And she's definitely done that with Lakeview. Reagan Price is a great example, and so are those Bulldogs, who got the big win over Palm-Tuning Valley last night to advance into the sectional finals. Let's move on. We have other players to get to. These are pre-recorded, so we're going to play them. Let's start with Samantha Aulette from Middle Ridge, YSN's reigning setter of the year. Anthony Hartwig here with a Middle Ridge volleyball player profile. I am joined by now a senior setter, Samantha Aulette. Sam, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
You're a senior now, and that's shocking. I'm sure it hasn't hit you completely yet either. What's it been like this year, just taking a little bit more responsibility and being a little bit even more of a leader than you already have been, and knowing that all the lasts are coming for you?
It's definitely a surreal moment because, like, it's the last of everything. I mean, I'm not really planning on playing in college, so, like, it really is, like, the last. And, like, just taking everything in and, like, living in the moment.
What has been the hardest last for you? Is it the last home game, the last time you play this opponent? What's the hardest last you think for you?
I would probably say the last time we played McDonald was really hard because, like, it's a rival. It's always been fun to play them. And probably our last home game was a little sad because, like, it's the last time I'm going to play in my own gym.
You've earned the right to play one more time because you were a higher seed in the tournament. So you do have that one more home game. But when you look at all the things that you guys have done this year, you have probably the hardest schedule for your size school that we see in the YSN family. Smithville, Fitch, Crestview, etc. The teams in your league that are good. You just played Lakeview. What has that done for your guys' confidence? Getting some wins in that stretch and then competing and falling against some others.
I feel like it, like, shows us our capabilities and that, like, if we really, like, put our mind to it, that, like, we can, like, be a tough team, or we can, like, rise to the occasion, if you will, or, like, just gives us confidence in ways we didn't really think we like had before. And then, like, after, like, putting ourselves in the moment and, like, rising, we're like, okay, we actually can do what we're capable to do.
Last year, you put up numbers. You earned the YSN Setter of the Year last year because of those numbers that you put up. Hard to imagine that you were doing even better this year, but you have improved. What kind of ways from your perspective, have you improved your game even more this senior season?
I would say, like, running the offense faster and at a different pace than last year because, like, we're running new things. And I would say, like, knowing where everyone is not only on my side of the court, but also on the other side of the court, which would help not only, like, the hitters, but also, like, our defense. Because if I can get, like, someone to move in just the slightest way, like, it will better the hitter and it will better our defense. And hopefully we get the point by making them move just a little bit.
Your hitters have been working for you for a long time. You have a great bond with them. Faith, Ava, Gianna Wilson in the middle, Bussy. What's it like to have such a strong bond with all the hitters that you're able to set to?
I would say it just puts a lot of trust in each other. Like if I do my job and, like, the passer does their job to put the ball in the window, then, like, I just have to put the ball in, like, their window, and I just know they'll put it away. Like, it's just knowing that, like, also, like, seeing them and then knowing that, like, they're going to be there. If I just put the ball where it needs to be, then, like, that bond is, like, getting stronger. And, like, we were able to play at a higher level than we wouldn't be able to if that wasn't happening.
Last year, you got 1,000 assists. This year, you got 2,000. We got your raw emotions after that game in the post-game interview. But now that you've been able to let that sink in a little bit, that you're in a 2,000 assist club, what does that mean to you to get that milestone?
I honestly didn't even think that, like, I would be able to even reach it because, like, I wasn't a setter my freshman year because of my sister. And then, like, to be able to get 2,000 in 3 years is kind of crazy. Like, I didn't expect anything like that at all. But like my biggest motivator was like my sister did it, so like you got to do it to prove you're better.
You're close. It's gonna come down to the finish between you and your sister. She was at what 2:22.72 is I think the number that we're aiming for. You're a little bit over 100 off. 2:157 is your total after last night's 33. What would that mean to you if you're able to have a big tournament run and get to that mark and even get to just one better, 2:273?
I don't even think I would let Danielle live it down. I'd be like, you had a whole year of setting that I did. I had 3 assists my freshman year. Like, I don't think there would be a time where we saw each other where I wouldn't bring it up.
You talk about that freshman year where you were the libero, you weren't the setter. But was the setting mindset there? Like, did you pretty much know that when Danielle graduated, you were next up and you set before and you knew how to do it? Or was that kind of a surprise that you were going to be growing into that role and you were going to fit into the role of setter that Danielle left?
Well, I already knew that I would kind of be the setter because even like if Danielle didn't get the ball and I was in, I would have to get second ball sometimes. And I was setting before I would like became the libero. Like for JO, I was the setter and I wasn't a libero. So like I already had like the setting backgrounds. And then when he brought me up to setter, I was like, this is no surprise. Like, you already know how to set the ball. Just do what you do. And then that's what happened.
What was the biggest transition for you, though, going from, the level of JO that you already set for and then libero, and then all of a sudden you're a varsity setter and you have to be a leader as a sophomore. What was that transition like for you?
I don't really say it would be like a hard transition because, like I said from JO, like the setter is basically the leader anyway. Like you're running the offense, you're telling the hitters what they're going to hit. I would just say the hardest part was learning your hitters and what they like to hit.
Is there differences in setting for JO compared to setting for varsity in high school? Are there differences to the game that you have to adjust to?
Yeah, I would say like in JO, it's maybe like a little bit more fast paced than in school because like everyone in JO is experienced in some way. And like learning like, okay, this block's bigger than this person. In high school, you're not really seeing like tall girls. If you see a tall girl like Abby from Crestview, you're like, okay, gonna have to make her move. But like you don't really see that too often in school.
You have a lot of Thunder athletes on your team, teammates, Thunder volleyball teammates. What's it like to play with players that you play with in the off season in JO?
I think it just brings like the bonding and trust like a lot tighter than like knowing that they're gonna be there. And then like after school's over and we go to JO, it's like the competitive edge. It's like, okay, well, like my team's gonna be better than yours, and it's just like a fun little banter that we have with each other. And then it just, I don't know, it's just like a fun time.
One of the things I like to ask players to play so much club volleyball or club softball, whatever sport it may be, you build a lot of relationships with people that don't go to your school. A lot of players that don't play for your high school team that maybe you play with or very closely to in JO. Who are some of your best friends in volleyball that don't wear Mineral Ridge colors?
I would say Jamaica Brungard. When we play Springfield, I always talk to her through the net. Reagan yesterday from Lakeview. Let's see. Grace from Jackson Mountain, the libero. Talk to her a lot. That's all I can think off the top of my head.
At least Jamaica wears the same colors, right? It's not Mineral Ridge, but it's orange and black. We'll live with that. Which one of those three that you just mentioned is the most trash talk, like, friendly trash talk, of course, but the most, gratifying to beat when you're able to beat them on the floor?
Probably Reagan.
You got that last night, and that's the way you cap your regular season. How much does this regular season give you guys confidence going forward? I mean, you're the only team that get tickets set from Crestview. You beat Fitch this year. You beat Lakeview. How much does this regular season really give you guys confidence going into that district bracket?
For sure, it gives us like a huge boost. Like, okay, you know what you're capable to do. But also in the summer when we would play like all these Cincinnati teams and Toledo teams, we're like, okay, well, we rose to the occasion there. We did it here. So now it's, as Coach Lesko would say, the third season. show out and play. If you don't show out and play, you're done. So you have to want it.
You do have a pretty big gap between last night and your first tournament game. What's that going to be like? You don't get gaps in volleyball. You get 3 or 4 games a night. You don't get the time in the gym to practice this long between games. What's this next week and a couple of days going to be like as you wait for your first tournament game?
Well, we'll prepare for whoever wins the South Range and United game. And then we're going to focus on teams that we could possibly play and maybe create new plays that we could potentially run in hopefully the district championship.
Is it weird to have that much time off between games because you're so used to next night, next game? Is it kind of off-putting to have, a week off, or are you welcoming the time to kind of, unwind and unset and maybe rest a couple of aches that you have?
I would say both. Like, it definitely is weird because, like, there was probably the month of September, we had 4 games a week, and we were like, we have 1 or 2 practices a week, and we were like, what are we supposed to do? Because, like, our games were like our practices at some point. And then I would also be like, okay, well, now we have the time to work on fundamentals that we didn't have the time to do during the season, and we have time to learn new things and new techniques and skills. So I think both are good and both are bad in their own way.
The biggest question people have for teams that have that time off is, how do you keep the momentum, right? How do you keep that positive momentum while you're not playing? What's your opinion on how Middle Ridge is going to be able to do that in this week? How do you keep that momentum going when you're not playing any more games until the first tournament game?
I would just, like, even when you're not playing, you still have, like, the memory of, like, okay, well, we left off on beating Lakeview. So we have that for us. We were the first team to at least take a set from Crestview and kind of give them a run for their money. So we have that for us. But, like, also during practice when we scrimmage, we have, like if we put a ball away there, we can get excited. Like, you can still, like, hype yourself up in your own way, even if you're not playing someone on, like, a different team. It could still be against your own teammate. But I just think, like, working hard in practice and, like, showing that, like, what you can do will, like, hype yourself up in your own way.
We've talked about your favorite JO teammate to go up against. Who's your favorite Middle Ridge teammate to go up against in scrimmages? Like, who's the one that you get most competitive with?
Probably Ava, because I'm a little short and she likes to hit straight down sometimes. So when I, like, can get a touch off her, when I come block her, I'll always talk and be like, you see that? I blocked you. And she'll be like, shut up. And it's just a little fun banter. But she's probably my favorite.
When you think about reflecting on the time you've had in this program, that's what senior year is all about. It's about reflecting. What are some of your favorite memories that you've made with this team?
Definitely becoming 2-time league champs with this team. Definitely a surreal moment. Playing together like how we did. I really haven't been, like, this close with the team before, because, like, my freshman year was kind of like, well, like, I'm the freshman with all these seniors, so it was a little at points. But then, like, this team, we all just bond. We talk all the time, and, like, there's literally not a moment where we're not together.
Give us a little bit of a scoop. Who have you been working with, or who do you think is going to be next year's replacement for you? Like, who should we watch out for when you're not the setter anymore? Who's coming up in the ranks that you've been seeing in practice a lot? We see in the JV games that you think, I might be gone, but this team and their offense is not going to lose too much with the next setter up.
I definitely say the JV setter, Sydney Wiley. She has some hands on her, but I would also say the freshman Sullivan Sandy has been showing a lot of improvement in practice, so maybe her.
How much have you been trying to lead those girls and nurture them so you can leave this program in a better spot, and then that when you graduate, you can have confidence that the program is still in good hands?
Well, I will say, like, the underclassmen and the freshmen do listen to the coaches and sometimes the upperclassmen of what we're saying, because they see how successful we have been in the past. And, like, for setting, that's, like, my specialty. So, like, or, like, serving, like, the freshman will be like, hey, how do you serve? Or, like, when we have setting practice, I'll be like, hey, square up, you need to do this and this, and then they like try to take it in. They may not show it right away, but you can tell that they're definitely trying, which will definitely help them especially if they're trying at it. And then just like keeping the positive attitude and that like you can do it at some point in time and just not giving up if you're not showing it right away will definitely help them.
We got to give Coach Lesko one last shout out before the end of this interview. You have your last chance to talk about him before you graduate. We see him on the floor so much, but you see him so much more than we do. What are some things about Coach Lesko that you are always going to treasure as a coach, and what makes him such a good coach for you in this team?
As much as I hate when he yells at me sometimes and he gets in my head, he's definitely the best coach I've ever had, and he knows the game inside and out. So like the thing that I love most about him is that after every single play, he has something to say, whether it's good or negative. He will tell you what you need to fix, what you did good. If you did something good, he'll be like, you can still do better, which is what I love because he wants to push you to the best of your ability. And he believes that you can do better, which is always good to have in a coach. But also, I just think he wants better not only for the team, but for each individual player.
I'm wondering what his message was after that Crestview game, because that was a game where you guys played like lights out, and you were a couple of points away from taking 2 sets from Crestview. What was the message after that game? You didn't get the win, obviously, but you probably gave Crestview the best game that they've had all year.
Yeah, he definitely was. He was proud of us for the way we played, but also he was like, I think you should have got it. Mm-hmm. And that there was a couple points where we should have picked up here and there, and that like we can't really slack off in this area. And so he definitely, I don't want to say mad about the loss, but he definitely was disappointed in the way that like we didn't win that game because he definitely think we could have beat them.
All right, Sam, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to once again thank the people that are in your life that support you, the people that are in your corner, whoever you think deserves a shout out in this interview. I want to give you as much time that you want to give them their shout outs.
I would like to thank my coaches for all the support and like just helping me with my craft, and my family for always coming to my games or even watching them through Ysn. Friends that come and support from school, and anyone else that is seeing my name as like, oh, I know who she is, and like all that stuff, and like that are supporting me without me really knowing that they're supporting me.
I know I said that was the last one, but we have to ask about your future. I got so caught up in the volleyball that I forgot to ask you about your future after high school. You're a senior, you're graduating. You said that you're probably not going to play college volleyball. So what are you going to be going on to do after high school?
I would like to go into the medical field and do something with pharmaceutical. I'm not really like decided if I want to be just like a pharmacist or like a pharmacist tech, but definitely somewhere in that field. But if I do get the opportunity to play, I definitely will, but it's not something that I'm like really looking for.
How hard was it to come to that decision that like you love volleyball so much, obviously, but maybe it's not going to be the best thing for you in the future, and maybe high school is going to be it?
Well, it was definitely like a lot of back and forth in my head, and especially with my family, but because of their support, they like knew that I'd make the right decision. And it's just like, even like after high school, it's not like or after college, I'm not going to go anywhere else with it. So like, I'm going to have to part with volleyball at some time. Mm-hmm. So like, if I do it earlier or later, like it just, I don't know.
How would you keep the sport in your life even if you don't play it in a college level? You think there could be a coach outlet somewhere in the future?
I definitely could see me coaching in the future for sure. But also like I could always play like sand volleyball, or I could like get into a adult league, I guess, and play with other people. And there's always me and Danielle peppering in the backyard.
Yep, always that. And hopefully you're able to throw her the dig that, hey, I have more assists than you. We'll see. You have a couple of more games left guaranteed, and you definitely, we hope, a lot more. Sam, thank you so much for joining us today. We wish you the best of luck in this tournament run, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Sorry about that, Samantha. All that from Middle Ridge. And we had the surprise live guest, but I'm not in the business of not following up on promotions. We promoted that Kylie Folkwine was going to be featured on this show. So guess what? We're going to go into overtime a little bit. We're gonna feature that interview. We're going to play it. And, there's no show on YSN from 2 to 3, so we're not bumping into anybody. We're gonna go ahead. We're going to go into overtime a little bit today and still play Kylie Folkwine's interview for you out here on Running Point. So here you go from Austin Town Fitch with Ty Bartell. It is Kylie Folkwine.
Ty Bartell with the first of probably 3 player profiles this year for Kylie Folkwine of Austin Town Fitch High School. This one, her volleyball edition for sophomore season. As Kylie, how we doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad at all. As freshman year, you came in as this freshman phenom. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone was excited to see what you were able to do your first year in all these sports, and you had a quality year in all 3 of those sports. Having that experience under your belt coming into your sophomore season now, what was the feelings like? What was your kind of mindset like after that first year under your belt coming into this year?
I was able to relieve a lot of pressure and stress off myself, knowing that I'm used to my teammates. I'm able to feel like I'm more able to be more of a leader this year because I know the girls and they already know how I play and they know how I am on the court. And then we just have an overall vibe that's easier to combine with to help us throughout the season.
Talking about high pressure situations, and I promise this is going to be the only non-volleyball question we're going to talk about, but coming off of a state championship in softball season 2, what does that experience you feel help, I guess, develop yourself as a player? What about that experience going on that type of run? Do you think that kind of helps carry over to other sports for you guys?
I wouldn't say it helps. It definitely builds up the Fitch history and program to be okay, Fitch is good at sports, but I don't think it helps other sports because different girls. But coming off if you played softball and you went into volleyball, you were already feeling on top of the world after winning a state championship, and you feel like you yourself as a player in softball want to proceed to help your team that could possibly win state in volleyball as well.
You play on a lot of different teams as well. Every team is special for different reasons, different girls, different players that you get to play with. What about this year's specific volleyball team do you find to be so special and so unique?
This year's volleyball team, we are so versatile and we have so many diverse players that could play anywhere. And I think that is a big part of why we're very good this year, very competitive, is that we're all athletic and we are all able to do anything. We could all be in any position and change anything around, and we would still be able to come out and win games.
You took a big step this season. I think 180 kills for you. I think you're 3rd in the conference right now overall in that category. And I mean, for only a sophomore too, you had to take a big step. And everyone I feel like had to take that step knowing that you were losing Jocelyn Jordan to Youngstown State. And I mean, that's, I think, almost 500 kills a season ago that you got to replace. So you girls did a great job in doing that. Did you know it was going to be a case where you had to step into a bigger role this year, and being only a sophomore too? I mean, that's a pretty big role to step in.
Yeah, last year playing outside, and I knew when Joe was leaving, I knew I had to step it up this year to try to fill in to be like Joe. I know I'm not Jocelyn, I'm not 6'3", but it's easy to try to find just step in, find spots, and try to get kills for your team because we have Jordan Smith too. So me and Jordan are very similar players. We both have great shots, great ball control. So having me and Jordan outside, we're able to step up together and get as many kills or even more as if it was just Joe and me at the outside last year.
What was specifically the things you were looking to improve from last year's season that you like? I mean, obviously you take away the things you like from last season, but what were some of the things you were like, I want to try to step this up, or I want to get better in this area?
I definitely wanted to try to get a lot more kills each game because last year I probably averaged around 5 or 6 kills as an outside, and this year I wanted to get 10 or more a game, which I'm starting to get there. I'm averaging, actually I really know average, but I'm averaging more than last year, and I wanted to get better at serve receive this year. And I think every single day in practice we work on serve receive, and I think it's starting to pay off for me in games because I'm getting a lot more consistent passes, so we're able to run all 3 spots on our offense.
I got to ask Jordan this a little bit earlier too, so I want to ask the same question because you were blessed to have two really good coaching minds both last year and this year as well, with Coach Bartlett and now Coach Herberger. What's the difference in dynamic, and what did both of them offer to you two that kind of helped shape your career to this point in volleyball?
They are both very big on my mental health part of the game, and I think that them always being there for me, knowing that I could talk to either of them about whatever going on in my life, I think that that helps me become a better player, and I'm just in the right mindset during the games, which helps me like boost my confidence because both coaches are always pushing me towards my best, and they know that my mindset's sometimes not always in the right space, and they'll do literally anything they can to help me clear my mind and be the best person I can for my team and myself on the court.
Talking about the sport of volleyball as well, you are getting your stats in pretty much every different category too. You're filling up the box score. What's your favorite thing to do in volleyball? Have that big dig that just barely hits the floor too, or coming down with that big kill?
I think big kills are probably my favorite, or like a good block of like a solid hitter. Those are my two favorite.
This season specifically, what's been your favorite match or your favorite memory overall? It doesn't even have to be in a match, I guess.
I think my favorite match and memory so far this year was against Notre Dame Cathedral when we won in 5. Both of our middles were out, and we had Charlie Richardson step up, getting an ace in the game, and we won that set in 5. And that moment right there just felt like we were able to do anything because we had different players on the court, different positions, and we were able just to come in and still win a game of 5 with different players on the court.
From a player's perspective and seeing how you guys have had to step up a lot of different ways too, there's been some injuries throughout the season and some different girls have had to step up. Do you think that experience in getting that varsity experience for so many different girls throughout the season, do you think that helps pay off during tournament time?
It definitely does because you never know what could happen in playoff games. Someone could get hurt, and if you have someone who's already experienced on the varsity court, they're not going to feel as much pressure to do as good and to fill in that person's role. And so they'll just be able to come in and hopefully fill the spot the best they can, and they know that they're there to help out our team and push as far as we can in playoffs.
You as an athlete are having one of the most hectic schedules I think I've ever seen as far as just athletics are concerned, not even things beyond athletics. How do you manage all that? What's the time management like? Is it does mom and dad have to help out with it a little bit too, or are you starting to get really good with the time management skills?
My mom kind of has like a schedule. She just tells you where I have to go because I can't really remember what I have some days, and it's very stressful. Like I really don't get to have a lot of time with my friends because I start travel softball this weekend. I'm going to New Jersey, so my weekends are all booked up now, and it's really hard with like school. It's a pretty tough schedule, and I don't know if anybody else like me can do it. I am very proud of them if they can do it.
4.0 GPA as well on top of that. And I think like that's incredible as well. Or just having just those grades as well. Anything I think above a 3.5 is, and having that schedule is insane. How do you keep the grades up with that?
Well, I don't have a 4.0 anymore right now, but I still have A's and B's, which I'm still proud of myself for doing because I have all honors classes. And it's a struggle after every single game or practice, going home, trying to get your schoolwork done, trying to get a good amount of sleep, trying to eat right. And it's just really time consuming. And if you know you want to do it and you want to go far in life, you will push yourself to do it. And that's what I'm doing in high school, trying to push myself so I'm ready for college.
I've always credited you with the mature mindset you have for such a young age as well. I've always loved the way that you've been able to kind of put things into perspective for yourself. Is it really hard? I mean, you talked about now you're in that travel softball scene. Is it hard to kind of click on and off from sport to sport, or does it just come naturally to you now with all the sports you've been able to play over the years?
Some of it comes naturally, but also like during volleyball, I still practice softball during the week and I have to do workouts to stay in shape for my softball season. But it's just kind of difficult because you're like so used to one thing, like the different arm motions in softball. It's like a little thing that you can do in one sport to another and it will transfer over. So it's very hard to keep your technique in shape from one sport to another and trying to like stay as best as you can for each sport.
And I mean, I know you participate in all the sports because you absolutely just love playing them too. Do you see yourself? I mean, obviously the travel softball scene, and you're with the Lady Dukes, and that's a very prestigious scene there. And I know that's one you're very talented at. But I mean, you're talented in all the sports you participate in. Are you kind of just like wherever a college offers me to, I'll make that decision there? Or do you have like a sport you're kind of keyholing in and saying that's what I kind of want to do in college, or what's your thoughts on athletics after high school?
I'm really hoping I could play softball in college because volleyball will be very difficult because I'm only like 5'9", and softball my height really doesn't matter. And I think softball is probably my best sport, and I put a lot of time and work into it. So I'm hoping that pays off so I can go to college for softball.
And I mean, you've put a ton of time and work into it as well, like you've said, and you've continued to extend in that as well as volleyball as well. Looking at this season, it's winding down. You guys are having another great season. You won the conference once again, your second time with the volleyball team. And I think you've won you won one with the softball team. So I don't think you really know anything outside of a conference winning for most of the sports you've participated in. What's that like though, to step into this 2 seasons in a row now with the volleyball team, winning the conference and kind of continuing what the other teams did years prior to you?
It's a very nice experience, a very nice like accomplishment because always the first goal is to win conference, and then you just keep moving forward to keep winning. And I feel like having that conference boost is just like helping you like participate further in each sport.
There's only a handful of matches left this season before tournament time. And I mean, Fitch is always one of those teams that is going to be in the thick of it. It's always a gauntlet in Division One, no doubt. What are just some of the things you are looking to improve in your game? And what do you think the team's looking to try to improve overall prior to that tournament?
For me, I want to get a better mental state so I could be a better teammate for my team. And I feel like all teams just together, it all starts with serve receive, and a bunch of teams possibly can struggle with that. And it's really just staying focused throughout the game, not like going up and down, just staying the same pace the whole game and always giving it your all and hustling. That's what will make teams go really far. And if the whole entire team has a strong mental state, they will beat teams that don't have it because they'll get in their heads, start making mistakes. And our team is very big on the mental state, mental health. And if we keep working on that, we can go really far in the playoffs.
I feel like the butterflies during like those playoff matches as they start coming around for any sport, I feel like they never go away. But is it a different feeling this kind of second time around as it approaches for you, or do you still kind of feel the jitters as tournaments start rolling around?
I feel like I'll have a little less like jitters this year because last year I was nervous. I was like, what if the teammates are mad at me? I'm only a freshman. But this year, I know the girls know me, and I don't think if it's like one person mistake, it doesn't matter. It's gonna be the whole team either wins or loses. So just
coming into that first year as well, there's always those nerves of what role you're going to fall into, and kind of the shoes you're going to fill, who you're going to become too. Where do you see yourself filling out with this specific team right now this year and going forward?
I always just want to be the best player for my team and my teammates, and so they're able to talk to me and just be like a coachable teammate, and I can also help out my teammates. I just want to be a very dominant outside, and I just want to like have good passes for my teammates to get opportunities to hit. I want to have good hits and pressure moments so I can relieve pressure off my teammates. I just want to become a very consistent player that other players younger than me or even in my grade or older can look up to.
You always seem like you have great support in the stands too. There's always someone there for you as well. What's it mean to have such a strong support system there for you too, to kind of lean on during those good times and tough?
It's always nice to know that someone's there cheering for you, even if you're having an off game or your best game. It's just nice to know that someone there it came to watch you and they're excited to see your success and accomplishments. And it's nice to know that people are supporting you.
Well, Kylie, we continue to support you. We love to see how your career continues to pan out and how you continue to develop in each and every one of the sports too. Just remember, though, as you continue to do these sports, take some time for yourself as well. What's your favorite place to eat out or go to around the Austintown area?
Either Chipotle or Chick-fil-A.
Those are always the best. What's the order for either one of those?
I get a
I get either a bowl burrito from Chick-fil-A with like brown rice, chicken, lettuce, sour cream, cheese.
Get the
and
power bowl on it. Yeah.
And then Chick-fil-A, I just get a spicy sandwich with mayo.
It's a standard. That's the only way to go over there. No doubt. Like we said, Kylie, we love to see how you continue to develop. Just continue to make sure you take time for yourself as well. Before we let you go, though, we want to give you that time to shout out all of your supporters that you want, the people that have been there for you this season, too, and anything else you want to talk about before the end of this volleyball season.
Just thank you to my friends, family, my coaches, and anybody who ever came to support me and are rooting for me in my future and my accomplishments.
All right, Kylie, as we wish you the best of luck for the rest of this volleyball season, we wish the team, the Austintown Fitch Falcons, the best of luck during tournament time, as this has been the first of probably many player profiles this year for Kylie Folkwine.
All right, that was Kylie Folkwine from Austintown Fitch. Told you we'd go into overtime to get her in. We do not skip promoted interviews on Running Point. That is a hardline goal, but we had a live interview. We had a live interview on the show today. Some of them got moved up a little bit into the live spot, so awesome for that. We'll go into overtime a little bit. I think about just over 10 minutes of overtime, so no harm, no foul. 1-2, 1-2-10. You know, who cares? It's Running Point. You get some extra time of us. We will be back tomorrow from 1 to 2 ish on Running Point, brought to you as always by Greenwood Chevrolet Austintown. We'll have some fun. Football Friday, week 10, into the regular season. We'll talk about it all tomorrow, 1 to 2.